As many as 150,000 Ukrainian soldiers have been killed or are missing in action in the war with Russia. Nearly 500,000 are thought to have been wounded. After almost 4 years of fighting, doctors in Ukraine have developed skills in treating complex combat injuries, including facial reconstruction. DW's special correspondent, Nimisha Jaiswal, reports tonight.
Artem is ready for his Christmas present, his 18th and hopefully final surgery. The 38-year-old veteran was injured in 2023 fighting on the front lines in Kupiansk.
A 120 millimeter shell hit my dugout. And then there was light. No pain. You couldn't think about your family or yourself. Just light, light, and light. Then darkness. A lot of pain. You don't understand where the pain is coming from.
He says his body was shattered.
Half my jaw was torn off. From my ear to there. It was just hanging. There was a penetrating wound, both eyes, shoulder, elbow, both legs, testicle.
But 2 years and countless hospital visits on, things are looking up.
You're breathing through your nose. Your nasal passage is completely open, Artem. That's great.
Dr. Natalia Kumashko is the Ukrainian head of the Face the Future mission. It brings international medical teams to Western Ukraine to help with facial reconstructive surgery for those injured in the war. In his last operation in October, the team closed a gaping wound in Artem's face.
The operation was unique in that we took a piece of bone from Artem's skull and closed many layers, using it to close this gap. That included his tissue and bone. The operation was long, lasting 7 hours, and 6 surgeons were involved.
The surgery allowed Artem to finally breathe through his nose. Now, a final step remains, removing excess tissue left after the last surgery to allow Artem to see better.
For me, Artem, everything here is a 9 out of 10. And we'll add a 10th point when we remove this piece and clean your nose. And Artem and I will only see each other at nice events, not in the operating room anymore.
Artem's wife and son have been central to his recovery. But he knows it will be difficult to reintegrate into civilian life. Artem used to be a funeral director in Odessa. He describes it as a very social job, which he doesn't feel presentable enough to do anymore.
Well, it was annoying, because people walk by, look at you, and then they start to turn away. All the neighbors would stand there too, staring. Once in a while I'd say, "Why don't you stick your finger in if you're so curious?"
It's been easier to be around other veterans, especially those with facial injuries.
They did a good job on your nose too.
No.
Even better than before.
Artem and Andrei spent weeks together while recovering from their last major surgeries in October.
We had a ward of handsome guys here.
Yes, the best ones.
Yes.
28-year-old Andrei was injured fighting in Pokrovsk. The men tell us they don't just bond over their injuries. Nothing is off limits. They help each other deal with their trauma.
You lie down before sleep and start remembering the worst moments in your life, where you almost got killed, where you messed up, and that's how it is before sleep. In short, you have to go to a psychiatrist and ask for antidepressants.
Dr. Natalia says that most veterans prefer to talk to each other over going to therapy. And she adds, spending time with his family between operations has given Artem new confidence.
When Artem arrived in October, his psychological state was not very good because he was worried. But now he's in a completely different headspace. First of all, he sees that the operation has had an effect. He gets to be at home with his wife and child, and he says, "Yes, I feel completely different."
It's the day of the final surgery. Artem is much quieter than the day before.
All good? Are you ready?
Yeah.
How are you feeling before with the surgery?
Okay.
The team tells us it's going to be a short procedure to remove the excess skin on his nose. Artem can only see from one eye, and even that is limited. But he's told us earlier that once the bump is removed, At least he'll be able to see the end of his cigarettes, to light them more easily. An hour later, the procedure is over. Doing these surgeries independently is a big deal for this Ukrainian team of doctors too. They say they've learned rapidly on the job from the best surgeons in the world.
You see the result right away. And of course, we are very satisfied because this is the final one. Artem does not need any more operations. He has everything. His function has been restored, his breathing and his beauty. And all the surgeons, the whole medical team is happy.
Artem has tickets to return to Odessa in 2 days. He's eager to get back. With the constant attacks and blackouts in his hometown, he's not been able to talk to his family. Ever since Artem was injured, his son has separation anxiety. Worried Artem won't come home. At least now, he won't have to leave for surgery anymore.
And joining me now is Hnat Herych. He is head of plastic and reconstructive surgery at the Unbroken Center in Lviv. That's in Western Ukraine. It's the largest medical and rehabilitation facility in the country. Dr. Herych, it's good to have you with us. I assume that your work has changed dramatically since the war began with Russia. Could you tell us what does a typical day look like in your department?
Thank you. Nice to hear you. Thank you for your support. Thank you for showing the situation in Ukraine right now. Yes, of course, after the war started in Ukraine, our job as a civilian surgeon changed dramatically because we started to work with the patient who unfortunately are injured by the war trauma, war injury. And now every day since 24 February, already near 5 years, we are working every day with the victims of this war, with the soldiers, with the military of Ukrainian forces, and unfortunately with the civilians, because of course, that Ukrainian cities are dramatically struck by the Russian rockets and ballistic missiles. So every day we receive the evacuation trains with a huge number of Ukrainian injured soldiers that we need to treat. We need to do some complex reconstruction, some work with the infection and with the wounds.
Well, Doctor, what are the most common situations, wounds and injuries that you see? I mean, what surgery are you doing the most?
Our center specializes on different type of surgery because we are the center who localized the most western near the Polish border. It's the fourth line of evacuation in the center where we do the specific high special surgery like a reconstructive surgery. We're working with the different parts of the body like face and neck, extremities, abdominal reconstruction, thoracic part of the body reconstruction. The type of trauma change every time because the war changing, the principle of war changing by this year. So as you know, the war started from the artillery shellings, but now it's mostly the problem with the drones, and we see that the types of injury change very much. So at the beginning of the war, we had more the huge part of the body defects that we need to reconstruct. And now, unfortunately, we have the patient with a lot of number of amputees because of FPV drone, the both sides using on the front line. And the second thing, we see also the difference between the season of the year. Now we have a very cold weather in Ukraine, especially in the east part of our country. It's -20, -25, -30 degrees. And we have a lot of patients with the freezings that we need to do amputees, unfortunately.
Doctor, I mean, it's terrible, these types of surgeries that you do. Before we run out of time, I want to ask you, do you ever reach a point where you tell yourself, that I can't help this soldier, this condition is beyond our capabilities? I mean, are you being faced with that situation now more?
Of course, we have a dramatic situation, unfortunately, at the start of the war, at the beginning, in the time of the beginning of the war, we have a massive attack of our Lviv region, Lviv city, where was a huge number of patients injured by the rocket strike. It was more than 100 patients that was immediately hospitalized in our hospital. And unfortunately, in this times of massive casualty hospitalization, the patient are qualified. They are qualified for the different of categories. It's called like red patient, green patient, and black patient. Black patient, it means that the patient is still alive, but we cannot waste the time for helping him because we lose another patient that have a more high possibility to stay alive, and more high possibility that we need to use our resources to help this patient. And it's a very difficult decision when you need to make it to do that, unfortunately.
Yeah, there must be some very difficult decisions, though, that you and your other doctors, your team members have to make. Dr. Hnat, Herych, we appreciate you taking the time to talk with us tonight, and appreciate you sharing the realities of the work that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your support. Bye.